You're taking me back to the sleepless nights, phone calls.
Hey friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a cook with me for an ombre apple pie. This was part of a bigger series I did on my YouTube channel, and I just thought I would make it a little bit shorter if you just want the apple pie recipe. I will have it linked down below on my blog. First, to get started, we're going to be using 4 different shades of apples. You can even do 5 if you can find some deeper reds. I'm going to be going with just reds, pinks, yellows, and greens today. A couple tricks to making an ombre pie is you want to make the apple slices pretty thin, so when you go to put it around the pie crust, they're malleable. For the sake of this video, I did mine a little bit thicker, only because I like them heartier. I think they're sweeter, and it's not, the filling doesn't feel as much like a tart. But you can do it either way. If you want to follow the way I did it, it turns out a little bit more like an apple pie. So go ahead and slice up all of your apples and get them laid out on a tray.
Just a couple kids, nowhere to be, taking time for making memories, living life like we were runaways. Yeah, those were the days. You're taking me back, you're taking me back, when the world was smaller and everything was ours. You're taking me back, you're taking me back, when everything moves slower. You're taking me back to better days.
Once you have all your apples chopped up, go ahead and get a cutting board and start to arrange them from darkest to lightest. I'm going to go from a dark red to a pink to, it's a green and a yellow here, but later I actually swapped those because the red and yellow here would kind of blend into the yellow better, and then the green. Once you have that all together, let's set that aside and we're going to start our pie crust. Now, I am actually using a Pillsbury ready-made pie crust. It works just as well as homemade, but you can do it either way. I'm going to roll out this dough over this pie dish, which is ceramic. I actually got this at Home Goods. It's already done. I just love it. It's perfect for fall. And I'm going to make a very simple crust around it. I kind of like doing things a little more simple with this pie because the center is so vibrant and beautiful. But you go ahead and make it any which way you want. I would love it if you would share it with me on Instagram by tagging me at Mrs. Lauren Nicholson so I could see how beautiful yours turns out. If you're new to my channel, I do a lot of home decor and cook with me, so please like and subscribe this video so I can share more with you in the future.
Taking me back to better days. You're taking me back, all the way back to better days. You're taking me back to better days.
Once you have your pie crust all formed, we're going to actually pre-bake this pie crust. I find a lot of times when cooking with raw fruit, it gets very soggy if you don't pre-cook the crust. So just throw a little bit of oil over it. You can either use baking stones or anything like that, or rice. I like to use sugar. I'm going to use this in my pie filling anyway, so I like to toast it. It gives it a really wonderful, like, kind of caramel flavor to it. So fill it all the way to the top, and then place it in a 425 degree oven for 45 minutes or until golden brown. give your pie crust a couple minutes to cool down, and then we're gonna start adding our fruit. This part can be a bit frustrating, especially if you are making your pie like I do with a little bit thicker fruit. But my advice is just kind of start to stack everything loosely around in circles, and then later, once everything's kind of filled in as placeholders, then we're gonna start brick layering all the apples. You can see I'm slowly brick layering them kind of one on top of another, and then I'm gonna start to add in a little bit as we go along. So I'm only putting about 75% in now while I kind of get the form together, and then I will go in and kind of slide pieces in there as needed. Now again, if you use a really, really thin apple slices, kind of like I'm doing here in the center, it's way easier. It's just a different consistency when you eat it after you bake it. Now that our pie is done, you can add a little bit of sugar and cinnamon and get this in the oven, or you can add some filling. I'm gonna use filling for mine. It's what my kids and I love. It's super delicious and kind of like caramel. You're gonna add 1 stick of butter, 3 tablespoons of flour, 1/4 cup of water, 1/2 cup of sugar, and 1/2 cup of brown sugar. And kind of let this boil and get nice and thick, and then we're gonna kind of pour it over our pie. Oh my gosh, this smells so good. Okay, we're gonna pour this over the pie slowly, kind of just drizzle it on top. Once it gets on there, we're gonna actually use a spatula and kind of push it into the apples. That way it's really even, so when you cut into it, the top doesn't kind of brown or have too much sugar on it. And then I'm gonna sprinkle just a little bit of cinnamon and sugar on top, just to really give it that apple flavoring that I love in apple pie. And then I'm also going to use a little bit of an egg wash around the crust. Since we already pre-cooked this, I don't want to cook the crust anymore. I still want it to have that nice golden brown color, but then with a touch of a nice egg wash will give it a little bit of a nice shiny feel to it. Once that's done, I'm just gonna cut up a couple strips of foil to protect the crust around the sides. If they're in the oven for too long, they start to burn, so make sure you cover them so they stay nice and perfect. We're going to put this in the oven for about 30 minutes or until golden brown. How beautiful is this pie, you guys? This is such an easy recipe, and the way that we bake it with a little bit thicker skin is gonna really create that ombre effect that is just so stunning. I hope you guys try this recipe. If you do, please tag me in Instagram so I can see how yours turns out. And thank you so much for joining me on another Cook With Me and making this gorgeous ombre apple pie. Please check out some of my other recipes and decorate with these. I would love if you would like and subscribe to this video, and I cannot wait to share more with you soon. Bye!